Hello, my name is Halli Hoops. Since we have been learning about the Renaissance the past couple of weeks, for my discovery project, I've decided to create a pasta inspired by what would have been similar to pasta made during the Renaissance era. I used ChatGPT to program a recipe for me using certain ingredients that were used at this time. So the ingredients that I used were pasta, unsalted butter, ground cinnamon, sugar, Parmesan cheese, and salt and pepper to taste. Spices like cinnamon, sugar, saffron, they were considered rare and a luxury, so only the wealthy really had these spices. So with that, sweet and savory was a pretty common combination. So step one is cooking the pasta. I brought a pot of water to a boil. I added my pasta and cooked that, and I strained that water, and I ended up reserving 2 tablespoons of that pasta water for later. Pasta during the Renaissance era was a huge staple of Italian cuisine, and it evolved significantly during this time. Pasta was eaten by both the wealthy and the poor people. So step 2 is making the sauce. In a pan, I melted my butter and I added in my cinnamon, and I forgot to put this, but I added sugar too. So during the Renaissance era, they didn't make tomato sauce because there was no tomatoes in Europe during the Renaissance time. They were only native to the Americas, and they weren't introduced to Europe until the 16th century by Spanish colonizers. Tomatoes were actually thought to be poisonous for some time. So step 3 is to combine. I added the cooked pasta to the pan with the butter and sugar mixture. I tossed it and added that little bit of pasta water back into there. I stirred in 1/4 of a cup of Parmesan cheese until it was melted and creamy. Parmesan cheese was used in several recipes of pasta during the Renaissance, and it was also used in sweets too. It was really popular back then, and it still is today. I ended up seasoning this with a little bit of salt and a pinch of black pepper. And the last step 4, is to serve. I plated it and I garnished it with a little bit of Parmesan and a light sprinkle of cinnamon just to make sure I really taste the cinnamon. The combination of sweet and savory in the pasta was really different. It was unique. Surprisingly, it wasn't terrible though. Without the cinnamon, I think it would have tasted pretty plain with just the unsalted butter and Parmesan cheese, so I think the cinnamon was a pretty cool touch. Here's my works cited page. Thank you so much for watching my discovery project. I hope that you enjoyed.